Now, I'm saying that to say that it's highly important, more so now than what it was when I came along, that you have college training. Along with college training, have some skill training, some technical training. When I was growing up here in Memphis, I played in the band out in Manassas. Now, to me at that time, it was just fun to play in a band, play with the band. I played drums. I wasn't on the drum just hitting on the drum. I learned how to read the music to play the time for the march band. I learned how to play the time for the jazz band. When I went to college, I learned how to read music to play with the chapel orchestra. Now, why am I saying that? It's important to get skill, get technical training in what you're doing, because when you do that, you can better compete with your adversary. When I say adversary, there's always somebody out there who's gone an extra mile to accomplish or succeed in what they're doing. And if you have done something yourself, the better equip yourself, the better qualify yourself, the better off you're going to come out. So when I was in college, I had learned how to read music. And I was equipped when I came out of college. I could have played with Count Basie, I could have played with Duke Ellington, I could have played with any of those bands, because I knew how to play music. I knew how to play march music. I knew how to play swing music. I was equipped to do it. But that field really wasn't paying the money that I wanted to make. So in going to college, I learned auto mechanics. My major was commercial industries, and I learned how to I learned how to repair vehicles, not just repar them, but repair them. At that time, they taught us how to rebuild a starter motor, rebuild an engine that's in a car, redo the brakes. Now it's reparting. You carry your car to a shop now, they just take off the worn out part and put another part on there. So it doesn't call for the skill that you might think it calls for in order to get a job in one of these mechanic shops. Now they claim that you got to have all that skill, but they're doing that to root out and weed out people that they don't want in there. And most times the people that they don't want in there are black people. So I learned how to repair generators. I learned how to repair gasoline engines. I learned how to repair everything on the car. We learned how to repair that. They told us that at Tuskegee. Well, when I came out of Tuskegee, my daddy got me set up in an auto shop out here in North Memphis. And I was really enjoying it. But Uncle Sam called me into the Army after I had gotten this repair shop going for about a year. Doing fine, operating out of my daddy's backyard, and I had cars all over the backyard to do work on. So when Uncle Sam called me into the Army, I stayed in the Army 2 years. When I came out of the Army, I decided I didn't.
Excuse me, Chris is going to have to go. He left somebody in the car. So
okay, all right. Pleasure meeting you. Now your name Chris what? Chris what? Okay. Well, I'm proud of it. I'm sure that you have a different atmosphere and a different appetite now over life than what you had since you met the president. He's an inspiring person.
I did.
Pleasure meeting you.
Who's that, Chris?
He loves a young lady.
So when I came out of the Army, when I came out of the Army, and came back home, I didn't want to go back into doing auto repair work. I don't really know what the Army did to me. I'm not saying the Army did anything to me, but I wanted to do cleaner work. Not that auto mechanic work is not clean work, because it is if you operate in it in the right way. So I left and I went up north to visit a brother of mine who lived at that time in Detroit. And I visited him, and he was selling full of products house to house. And I rode around with him all day one day as he sold his products door to door. When we went home that night, he was at that time, he was a single man, so was I. When we went home that night, he had the bed that he slept in, and he had a nightstand in between. He had another bed over here, so I slept over here. So when he emptied his pockets, he had a roll of money like that. So I asked him, I said, did you pick up all of that money today? But see, at that time, Detroit was booming, the big automakers and all of that. He could go and make one sale and do what I would do all day long in Memphis, in a sense. So he says, yes, and he really wasn't flabbergasted over it, as I was. I was just flabbergasted to see him roll of money like that, and I'd see him go in the house, and he would talk to this lady, he would talk to that man, they'd stand out in the yard and talk. Well, to me, he was just visiting people. He was just involved in something social. It really wasn't work. I didn't see work in it at that particular time. So I was fascinated. So when I came back to Memphis, I said, well, instead of getting back into this automotive thing, I said, I'm going to go into sales. Now, selling is where it is. Sales today are not like sales have been. The person can get on a computer now. If you want to sell this table, you can put this table on the internet, and you can explain the table and all of that.
Show the picture.
You show the picture and all of that. And you can sell on the computer now. But I would say that a young man, a young black man, should not allow the new techniques and modern ideas that have come about to discourage him from getting into the business world. Business is a very, very wonderful place to be. I'll be 84 years old next month. And if I had to go back out there, that's what it would be. I'd go back out there somewhere in the business world.
Mr. Gordon, you skipped something. You didn't tell them about your janitorial supply company.
I would not.
You didn't tell them about the janitorial.
Well, no, but I believe I'll get over there some kind of way. I think I will. I believe that if I had to get back out there, in fact, I know I would get involved in sales. It's always something, in some way, you can approach people to sell them something. You can do it in the insurance business. You can do it in manufacturing. Get a product directly from manufacturers. There's so many ways you can get merchandise now. And you can get that merchandise on the market yourself and make money. So I don't know the latest trends. I've been out of it now over 10 years. But I don't know the latest trends. But I do believe that a person could get out there now and survive in selling. I just believe it. And if I had to, I'd get back out there. I'd get back out there tomorrow. And I believe I could get it. But my point is, sales is a wonderful place to be. Business. I knew in all the black neighborhoods in Memphis, when blacks had some kind of business on the corner. A beauty shop, a lawnmower shop, auto shop, dry cleaners. Blacks had some type of business all over the black neighborhood in Memphis. If you go to Nashville, if you went to Atlanta, any of the cities you went to where there was accumulation of blacks were in business. Now blacks have gone out of that with the idea that they can step right into some kind of nice-paying job and survive. Well, he might be able to do that now. They're doing it. But if a person wants to and would allow themselves to be initiative, they can get involved in something in the business world and make it. So that means then that you're going to have to be a little beyond what we were, what has been. A lot of blacks just grew up and won't finish high school. They finish high school, they come out of high school, they're not equipped to go to college. They go to college, they don't come out of college equipped to really get out there and do a good job. Now, the day and time has come now where you just got to be efficient, you got to be ready, you got to be qualified. And if you are, you can survive. Now, after selling door to door for 20-some years, civil rights movement came up. And the civil rights movement brought the idea in the minds of a lot of people to steal and to rob and to cheat and to do a lot of those things. So I no longer could go out there and sell a customer bedspread, some throw covers, and what have you, because if she would buy the bedspread and sheets from me and put them out there on the clothesline, somebody down the street would come in and take the bed and sheets off. And it made it difficult for me to collect from a person if they knew that somebody had stole the merchandise that I sold them. I found I had a harder time collecting my money, but I did, because I was set up and organized with my people. But it put a different atmosphere and attitude in the hearts and the thinking of black people. So I decided to go into the chemical business. I opened up a company called Memphis Chemical Janitorial Supply, and I operated that for about 20-some years. I made more money there than I did selling door-to-door, but I enjoyed my door-to-door sales much better than I did my janitorial chemical sales. What I'm really trying to point out is having a foundation, a basic foundation in business. It didn't make it a difficult thing for me to get into the chemical world, because it's the same thing. Selling a product, meeting people, building a relationship with them, finding out what they need, what they want, how you can get it and get it to them at a price that would equal your competitors and render as good a service, if not better service. That was the idea. And that's what we were able to do. Oh, you want to come back?
Yeah, excuse me.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry about this.
That's all right.
But he won't pay attention because he wants to be a little baby. Somebody out there training him to be a baby rather than having him grow up.
He's sleeping. Look, I'll see y'all later. I appreciate you, Mr. Fuller. I'm sorry. I got these little.
All right, Cap.
So, going into the chemical business was more of a sophisticated manner of doing business than knocking on doors, visiting people's homes. But I enjoyed the door-to-door sales far better than I did the chemical business. I enjoyed it. But I made more money in chemical sales. Why? What we were selling in the chemical world, people had to have it. it wasn't something that they wanted. It wasn't something that they needed, but it was something they just had to have. They had to have some cleanser for the kitchen, for the toilet, for the bedroom. They had to have chemicals. And if you had the right kind of chemical that would do the job and get out there and get behind it, you could sell it. Because once they used it and used it like you tell them, they found out they got the kind of results. And if the price was right and the service was good, you build yourself. You just built yourself. People had to have towels. They had to have toilet tissue. They had to have disinfectants. They had to have floor wax. They had to have these things. If they had a factory where they had 15 or more people working for them.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Can you get through it all right?